Hi, welcome to Mindset with Shikah. And in this podcast, we discuss more about the mindset side of running a business and how we can strengthen our mindset so that we can run our business with ease and joy. So today we are going to talk about the topic of failure. I'm Shikah and I create done for you coaching materials for coaches using my counseling experience. So if you are new to me, that's my brief background. Today, we're going to talk about the topic of failure. And I was inspired to create this podcast episode after listening to another podcast episode. And in that episode, a spiritual coach was sharing that failure can actually be a good thing and failure makes us more resilient. It was an aha moment because as a business owner myself, I don't like mistakes. I don't like failure in any shape or form. And I don't think I am the only one who feels this way. Maybe you can resonate with this as well. Because as business owners, when we make mistakes, it affects us on so many levels. It affects our income, it affects our reputation, it affects our self esteem. It can make us second guess ourselves, and it can also make us doubt ourselves and doubt our capabilities. And there are so many things which get affected when we experience any kind of failure in our business. So I would say that's why many of us do not like failure in any way. Nevertheless, when you are running your own business, you are going to be juggling many different hats. You can't escape and run away from mistakes and failure because you will be your business copywriter. You will be the YouTuber for your content. You will be the podcast writer. You will be the product creator. You are going to be doing so many things, and it's impossible for us not to make mistakes in any of these areas. So the best thing we can do is to learn how we can handle failure. And handling failure is important because it will prevent us from going into that downward spiral of feelings of low self-worth and depression, if you know what I mean. If you are someone who has experienced failure before and you did not handle that very well, it can really affect you mentally and emotionally. And people have even gone to therapy and seeing counselors to help them with that. And as much as possible, we try to avoid that. And one way we can avoid that is to handle failure in a healthier way. So I'm going to share with you two ways. There are two paths that you can take when you are handling failure. Obviously, there are many different ways you can handle failure as well, but today we are going to discuss two paths that you can take when you hit a certain kind of roadblock in your business. So path number one is more suited for you if you are someone who has a fighting spirit, if you have a very fighter type personality, you have a fiery personality, you're going to be loving path one. So path one is where you actually fight that failure. So you're going to be trying different strategies. You're going to be hiring different people on your team. You are going to be maybe firing certain people on your team. Maybe you're going to hire experts to give you advice. You're going to be creating new funnels, creating new products, maybe trying a new marketing angle. You'll be trying many different things to fight that failure so that you can turn that failure into a success. So if you're someone with a more fiery personality, you're a fighter, you are going to be gravitating towards this path. So this is one way for you to handle failure, to fight it. And path number two is for people who are more self-loving and who are more peace-loving. So if you're someone who values inner peace a lot and mental peace a lot, you are going to gravitate towards path number two. So this path looks like this. You're going to be someone who embraces this failure and accepts this as part of your business journey. You're probably going to look at your business journey from a macro point of view and recognize that this failure is just a blip in your long, beautiful journey ahead. And you are someone who is going to be very open to getting intuitive hits or following your intuition or following your gut instincts or going with the flow when it comes to your business. You're basically not going to be in any rush to turn your quote unquote failure into a success. You're not going to be in any rush or in any pressure whatsoever. You're going to take things easy and you're going to basically just go with the flow like I mentioned. So if you are a peace-loving, self-loving person, you're more likely going to be gravitating towards this way of handling things. So I've shared two ways, basically two paths you can take when you handle failure, depending on your values and also depending on your personality as well. So this brings to mind that it's also good for us to evaluate or reevaluate our relationship with failure. How do you define failure in your business? For example, personally for me, I define failure in income terms. So for example, if I earn lesser this year compared to last year, then I will call that a failure. I know this is not the healthiest way to define failure and success, but this is where I am at this moment. I define failure in terms of income. And I'm interested to know how you as a business owner define failure and success. Do you also define it in income terms, or do you define it in any other way? You can let me know in the comments, or you can also send me an email. That's also fine. And I also would like to know whether you are someone who will be more inclined to go to path number one when you face failure, or are you someone who's more peace loving and prefer path number two? Personally, I'm a peace loving person, so I will naturally pick the more self compassionate way of handling failure. But everybody is different. There is no right or wrong, and that is the beautiful thing about life. Everyone handles things differently. We handle successes differently and failures differently, and that's perfectly all right. Okay, thank you for joining me in this episode. I will see you in my next episode. Goodbye.